If you are interested, this is the NextFlow script that we drafted during the break. It takes as input a directory with the paired end reads that we need to specify that way with the path and star, the score R1, 2. So we need to specify which files are linked so the 1 and the 2 are part of the same sample. And this is the only odd thing at the first use. Then we can specify some default parameters that we can very easily change. And then we draft a set of processes. Each is defined by input, output, and the actual commands that we need to run. Some processes will be executed sample by sample, while some other times we want to collect all the results in a single step, like when we merge the tables or when we perform the multi-QC. And we can clearly specify this with the collect instruction. So we will funnel all the results in a single process. Let's try to run the pipeline with the minus reads parameter and only that. So it's NextFlow, run, the name of the script, and then the parameters that we want to add. If we want to change the database, we can specify it with -db because we call it params.db, and then we can change the database on the fly. This is also very convenient. When we start the pipeline, NextFlow will check all the processes that he will need to perform. He will evaluate the samples that we provided from the input directory. So for example, we have 5 samples here, and no host will need to be run on the 5 samples, and all the others as well, because this is the first channel that we provide to the workflow. But when we finish processing all the samples with no host, filter, Kraken, and Raken, we can combine the tables and perform the multi-QC collecting the samples. I didn't specify an output directory because a name was provided by the defaults, but as we said, we can easily change it from the command line. And NextFlow also has a caching system. So if we want to just change the last bit, or in this case, we just change one parameter, we can use resume. And if the files were already calculated, they can be just copied over. So I have my new output directory with the merged reads, the report, and also Raken and Kraken files nicely organized. We can now have a look at the report. With a quick trick, we split the Kraken report because we have one for the host removal and one for the classification, so this is not very elegant, but it's nice to see in the same report both the amount of host and the approximate classification of the samples. As we said, we can normalize, we can remove the unclassified and change the appearance of the plots. And while this was by no means a tutorial, but just a very quick overview, I hope to have triggered some interest in learning NextFlow maybe in the future.